Lacie runs in a suburban neighborhood and interacts on social media as she runs. Lacie uploads a photo of herself and scrolls through other people's feeds, giving them all 5 stars. After her post-run shower, Lacie practices her smile and laughter in the bathroom mirror. She's currently at 4.2 rating. She interrupts her brother Ryan as he plays a virtual reality game. They talk about moving plans and she mentions that she is looking at more homes. While she's waiting for her breakfast, she scrolls through her feed. As she receives her coffee from the barista, they mutually rate each other on their interaction. She shares a picture of her coffee and several people rate her from her post and she's very pleased about it. When she goes to work, she runs into a woman named Bethany in the elevator. They're seemingly unable to communicate without going through each other's social media feeds for something to talk about. Lacie continues to browse social media at work. She looks at her friend Naomi's feed, who appears to be living her best life. Chester walks up to her offering a drink. She takes one and sips it as everyone stares at her. When Chester leaves, Lacie's coworker says that Chester and Gordon broke up, and they're all on Gordon's side, and that is why his rating is at 3.1. Due to her interaction with Chester, she receives a number of anonymous downvotes at work. Lacie goes to the Pelican Cove community to check a house. The house costs more than what she expected, but the agent gives her an option called the Prime Influencers Program, where she would need a rating of 4.5 to get a 20% discount on the house. She goes through her friend Naomi's profile as she's having dinner. Ryan comes in and looks at the Pelican Cove brochure and tells her she wouldn't even qualify and walks off. The next day, Lacie meets with a Reputelligent agent. The agent tells her that a 4.5 rating is achievable in about 18 months, but if she wants results sooner, she'll need a boost, and he suggests interacting with the high 4s. When she goes to work the next morning, she interacts and rates people favorably at the cafe. However, outside the office, she runs into Chester. He cannot get into the building because his rating has dropped below 2.5, so he begs Lacie for a few stars so that he can get in. Lacie denies his request, but she feels bad about it. She runs into Beverly again in the elevator. She offers her a croissant and attempts to make small talk to get her rating, but Beverly only gives her 3 stars. On a video call, Lacie consults the Reputelligent agent again. He tells Lacie not to try too hard, as this might turn people off. She then takes a photo of a doll named Mr. Rags on her desk and uploads it. Naomi sees it and rates it 5 stars. When Lacie gets home that evening, she tries out a new recipe for dinner. She gets on a sudden video call with Naomi. Naomi has called to reveal that she is getting married and asks Lacie to be her maid of honor. Lacie first hesitates, but Naomi insists and says she wants her oldest friend to be by her side. Since Naomi is a high 4 and so are the wedding guests, Lacie jumps at the opportunity. After the call, Ryan comes over and reminds Lacie that Naomi was always mean to her, and recalls everything wrong Naomi did, like sleeping with Greg, but she defends Naomi. The next day, Lacie meets with the Reputelligent agent again and shows him the list of wedding guests, full of high 4s. Lacie calls Carol from Pelican Cove and tells her that she wants to take the place and transfers the deposit. She tries her maid of honor speech out on her brother, who is not impressed with Lacie's fake emotion and calls her a sociopath. Lacie tells him what going to this wedding means for her ratings. Ryan complains about Lacie's obsession with the rankings. Lacie finally snaps at him and she tells him she never brought guys back to the house because she didn't want them to know that she lives with a 3 ranker, and downvotes him as she leaves. Ryan downvotes her as well. On her way out, she bumps into a woman and spills her drink on herself, prompting her to downvote Lacie. Lacie arrives at the airport. The cab driver downvotes Lacie for being annoying and making him wait. The staff at the check-in desk tells her that the flight was canceled because of a customer incident. She's able to find another flight, but the seat is reserved only for people with 4.2 rating or higher. Lacie is now at 4.1 and the staff insists that there's nothing she can do about it. Lacie swears and freaks out, prompting the staff to call the security. He docks her 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure but will revert back to normal in 24 hours, and all her downvotes within this time will get a ×2 multiplier. Lacie tries to get a rental car. Lacie is restricted to their Super Saver fleet with older car models because of her current rating. As she drives to the wedding, Lacie practices her speech. Naomi calls and Lacie admits that she missed her flight. She offers to find a replacement, but Lacie insists that everything is fine and she assures her that she will make it. The car's system warns that the battery is low, so she pulls over to get a charge, but the charge cord won't fit because it's an old car model. She goes to the staff nearby to ask for an adapter, but he doesn't have one, and so she goes around and asks the other customers for an adapter, but none of them have one. Lacie walks along the highway and tries to hitch a ride. But because of her low rating, people are not willing to take her into their cars. Eventually, Susan, a truck driver, stops and offers Lacie a ride. But because of Susan's 1.4 rating, Lacie hesitates at first, but Susan insists, so she gets on. Susan tells her that her husband's rating was too low to secure a bed at the hospital when he was sick with cancer. They gave the slot to a 4.4 patient over her 4.3 husband. After that, she decided to forget about the rankings, which was the reason for her low rating now. The next morning, Susan pulls over and wakes her up, and says that she's heading in a different direction. Susan says that she put something in her suitcase in case of emergencies. A thermos. Lacie goes into a restroom and rehearses her speech in a stall. 2 girls come in, talking about a show they're going to. Lacie looks it up online, then goes out and claims that she's going to the show too, and tells them that her car broke down so they would offer her a ride in their RV with other fans. She gets to the van and tries to fit in, then suddenly, Naomi calls, telling her not to come to the wedding. She tells her that she doesn't want a 2.6 person at her wedding. Lacie is shocked as she thought Naomi genuinely wanted her oldest friend to be at her wedding and tells her that it was just about the numbers after all. Naomi answers it was about the numbers for both of them. Lacie insists on doing her speech, but Naomi angrily tells her to just go home. Lacie kicks herself out of the van by telling the fans that she's never seen their stupid show. She tries to hitch a ride while screaming at the drivers, prompting them to downvote her. She sees some quad bikers under a bridge and asks one of them if she could borrow a bike. Everyone at Naomi's wedding is taking pictures and rating the happy couple. Lacie drives through the traffic with the quad bike. She sees that she's unable to go to the wedding through the main gate, as the minimum entry is 3.8 rating, so she drives through the forest, but falls off the bike and lands in a creek. Lacie goes on, covered in mud, until she reaches the wall around the community. She sneaks over with her dress on, and gets to the reception. Lacie walks in and tries to get their attention. She goes to the mic, starts to give her speech, but goes off script and avoids Paul as he tries to stop her. Everyone votes her down. More security guards arrive and Lacie keeps on giving her speech and reveals that Naomi did sleep with Greg. A woman trips her up and tries to recite her speech as the guards drag her off the premises. She is arrested. Her phone is taken away, as well as her eye implants that integrate with her phone and the rating system. Lacie then looks over at the man in the cell in front of hers and tries to rate him down with her non-existent phone. She tells him to stop looking at him and they start roasting each other. They end up screaming at each other and smiling. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new release. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.